The case of Marbury v. Madison, decided in 1803, is one of the most important and influential cases in the history of the United States Supreme Court. This landmark case established the principle of judicial review, which grants the power to the court to review and invalidate laws or actions that are found to be unconstitutional. It set the stage for the modern role of the judiciary in interpreting the Constitution and ensuring the balance of power among the three branches of government. To fully understand the significance of Marbury v. Madison, we need to delve into the historical and political context in which it took place. In the early 1800s, American politics was characterized by intense rivalry between the Federalist Party and the Democratic-Republican Party. This ideological conflict extended to the judiciary, with President John Adams, a Federalist, and his Secretary of State, John Marshall, making a series of last-minute judicial appointments known as the Midnight Judges. These appointments were an attempt to secure Federalist influence in the judiciary before Thomas Jefferson, a Democratic-Republican, assumed the presidency. Among the Midnight Judges was William Marbury, who had been appointed as a Justice of the Peace for the District of Columbia. However, Marbury's commission was not delivered by the time Jefferson assumed office, and James Madison, the new Secretary of State, refused to deliver it. Marbury sought a writ of mandamus from the Supreme Court, demanding that Madison be ordered to deliver his commission. This request presented the court with a significant constitutional question. Did it have the authority to issue such a writ? The case came before the Supreme Court, with Chief Justice John Marshall presiding over the bench. Marshall, himself a political appointee by Adams, faced a delicate situation. The court's decision would not only determine the status of Marbury's commission, but also shape the court's own authority. In a moment of extraordinary judicial activism, Marshall declared that the provision of the Judiciary Act of 1789, which Marbury relied upon to demand the writ, was unconstitutional. He argued that this provision expanded the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court beyond what was allowed by the Constitution. Crucially, Marshall further held that the Supreme Court had the power of judicial review, allowing it to declare acts of Congress unconstitutional. This groundbreaking assertion established the principle of judicial supremacy, with the court becoming the ultimate arbiter of the Constitution's meaning. Marshall's decision in Marbury v. Madison asserted the authority of the judicial branch as an independent interpreter of the law, balancing the powers of the executive and legislative branches. Although Marshall's decision provided a resolution in the case of Marbury, it had far-reaching implications for American democracy. The ruling established that the Constitution was the ultimate law of the land and that it was the responsibility of the Supreme Court to interpret and uphold its principles. This power to strike down laws deemed unconstitutional has been a cornerstone of American jurisprudence ever since. Marbury v. Madison remains a landmark case in legal history, shaping the foundation of the American legal system. It gave birth to the concept of judicial review, ensuring that the Constitution remains the ultimate guide by which the actions of government are measured. The decision set a precedent for the Supreme Court to act as the guardian of the Constitution, safeguarding individual rights and preserving the system of checks and balances.